Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing amazing today. In this video, we're diving into the latest updates about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. You don't want to miss this. So make sure to stay tuned till the end and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It began as an ordinary morning in the Ripa Consuelos household, the kind filled with quiet rituals that had defined Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos' decades-long marriage. Coffee brewing, gentle laughter echoing from the kitchen, the soft buzz of a New York morning slipping through the window. But behind that everyday rhythm, something far deeper and far more fragile was beginning to surface. For years, Kelly and Mark had been television's golden couple, the embodiment of charm, loyalty, and enduring chemistry. Their love story, which began on the set of All My Children, had survived Hollywood pressures, relentless schedules, and the glare of fame. But this time, the struggle wasn't about the industry or the spotlight. It was about health, fear, and the quiet strength it takes to hold on when life begins to tremble under uncertainty. A hidden battle. It started subtly. Mark had been feeling off, fatigued in ways that couldn't be explained by long filming days or demanding projects. Kelly noticed it first. The way he'd pause before standing up, the quiet sighs he tried to hide, the late-night restlessness. At first, they both brushed it off. "We're just tired," Kelly told him one night, trying to make it sound casual. "You're working too hard again." But deep down, she knew something wasn't right. As weeks turned into months, the symptoms grew harder to ignore. There were doctor visits, tests, consultations, each one filled with the dread of waiting. And though they tried to remain optimistic, the weight of uncertainty began to settle into their hearts. Kelly, ever the professional, continued showing up on Live with Kelly and Mark, her smile radiant as always. But to those who truly watched closely, there were fleeting moments, a distant look, a pause too long between words, where her composure seemed to waver. Behind the bright lights and laughter, she was quietly breaking. Love under pressure. Mark's health battle was not just physical. It became an emotional test for both of them. For a couple so accustomed to sharing their joy with the world, navigating fear in silence was a new kind of challenge. Kelly often said in interviews that Mark was her anchor, the calm in her chaos. Now, roles were reversed. She became the steady one, the voice whispering strength when his body felt weak, the arms that wrapped around him when uncertainty hit hardest. Friends close to the couple spoke about Kelly's transformation during this time, how she balanced care, motherhood, and her career with quiet resilience. "Kelly's a fighter," one longtime friend reportedly said. "But this time, she's fighting for someone she loves more than anything. And that kind of battle changes you." At home, Kelly's tears became her release. Late at night, after the kids were asleep and the city quieted, she'd sit by their window, looking out at the lights of New York. She wasn't just mourning fear, she was reckoning with love's fragility. A private moment becomes public. It wasn't until months later that the couple addressed the issue publicly. During a taping of Live with Kelly and Mark, a conversation took a sudden emotional turn. Kelly, speaking candidly about resilience, paused mid-sentence. Her voice cracked slightly and her eyes glistened. The audience, sensing the shift, fell silent. Mark reached for her hand, his expression tender but heavy. "Sometimes," she said, her tone soft but firm, "life reminds us how precious every day really is." Though they didn't share details, that moment spoke volumes. It was raw, unscripted, and profoundly human. Fans flooded social media with messages of love and support, sensing that something deeper was happening behind the scenes. The silent strength of partnership. For Kelly and Mark, this period became a reminder of why their marriage had endured when so many others in Hollywood had not. It wasn't just passion or shared success, it was friendship. It was patience. It was the quiet promise made years ago, in sickness and in health. In one particularly touching moment shared on Instagram months later, Kelly posted a photo of their hands intertwined with the caption, "Every challenge reminds me that love is the only constant worth holding on to." The post went viral, drawing thousands of comments from fans who had watched their love story unfold over decades. Behind that simple caption lay months of hospital visits, sleepless nights, and prayers whispered into the dark. Mark's recovery, slow, uneven, but steady, became their shared mission. The turning point. When the worst had passed, Mark began to open up about what he had been through. "I didn't want to make it public at first," he admitted during a later interview. "I didn't want pity. I just wanted strength, for Kelly, for our kids, for myself." That honesty resonated deeply. His humility reminded fans that even those who seem untouchable, beautiful, successful, adored, are still human. They still bleed, still fear, still fight unseen battles. Kelly, reflecting later on that period, described it as both the hardest and most sacred time of their lives. "You learn who you really are when the person you love most is hurting," she said. "And you learn how strong love can be when it's all you have left to hold on to." A renewed bond. Today, their love seems stronger than ever. They've returned to their routines, laughing on air, teasing each other playfully, sharing family stories that make audiences feel like part of their world. But those who've watched closely can sense something different, a deeper tenderness, a gentleness in how they look at each other. Mark once said that Kelly saved him, not just physically but spiritually. "She reminded me why life is worth fighting for," he shared in a quiet moment during a podcast appearance. "She gave me hope when I couldn't find it myself." Their children, too, saw firsthand the meaning of devotion. "We grew up knowing our parents loved each other," their daughter Lola once said. "But this showed us what love really looks like. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up when things fall apart." The public's emotional connection. Fans around the world were moved by the couple's openness. Many said their story helped them face their own hardships with courage. Social media filled with comments like, "Kelly and Mark remind us that true love still exists, and their strength gives me hope for my marriage." In a time when celebrity relationships often crumble under pressure, Kelly and Mark's honesty about pain and perseverance became a rare kind of inspiration. One rooted not in glamour, but in grace. Behind the smile, even now, Kelly admits that there are days when the memories of that difficult chapter still bring tears. But those tears are no longer just from fear, they're from gratitude. "I cry because we made it," she said recently. "Because I still get to wake up next to my best friend." It's a love story that has evolved beyond fairy tale perfection into something more enduring, something real. Through illness and healing, through laughter and tears, Kelly and Mark have reminded the world that the most powerful love stories are not written in romance but in resilience. As Kelly often tells her audience, you can't control what life throws at you, but you can choose how to love through it. And that's exactly what she did. Epilogue. Love that endures. Today, Mark's health is stable, and life has slowly returned to its joyful rhythm. The couple continues to thrive both personally and professionally, bringing warmth and laughter to millions of viewers each morning. But behind every smile, there's a quiet truth. They've been to the edge and back together. They've seen how fragile happiness can be, and they've chosen, again and again, to hold on. In Kelly's eyes, that's what makes love worth everything. Not the red carpets or cameras, but the moments when tears fall, hands cling tighter, and two hearts promise to keep beating side by side, no matter what comes next. Because sometimes the most beautiful love stories are the ones written in the midst of struggle, the kind that leave you in tears, but with hope shining through every word. Stay tuned for all the updates about Kelly Ripa. We are the first to publish all the information about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, so stay with us to get all the latest updates. And stay tuned to our Kelly and Mark report for all updates.